I believe we can start with the real management topics. And let's go through an interesting part, which sounds like boring organization chart, blah, 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 but it's very interesting on how an organization is built. First of all, as you know, always start with philosophical pillars. What is a company? A company is a complex entity that works like a living organism. Um, by the way, I had a former colleague that say a company should work like a perfect engine, everything should be aligned. It's made by humans, it's impossible. So it's made by chaos, and that's from the chaos that good thing happen. That said, for sure we need processes, we need everything. We try to counterbalance these entropic dynamics, but it's impossible to have a company which is a perfected oiled engine. That said, company is also made by special people. Special people means transformational people. Transformational people, you will find very little person in in a company in the journey you will make are the people that can take the company and department and reshape it from scratch. Those are the people you want to bring the company to the next level. Usually, people interact with spontaneous, unstructured communication flows. I mean, for sure, there are channels specific, activities. But for example, how many hidden secret channels Slack you have? Those are the spontaneous communications that happen. And the magic rule for me is number one, avoid fatal mistakes, execute consistently, and also innovate. This is the way I do envision the organization. Also, it's important to, cope with the business with a fresh brain. I really love because I did the same. People that comes to an industry or approach a problem with a fresh brain and not coming from the segment or not being an expert, and because of that, they change the rule of the game because they didn't know the rules, and it's incredible what happened when they don't know the rules. um, my challenge here for you is think like you need to start thinking your organization as what will be my organization when I will be 250, 500, 1000, 5000 employees. What will you do? And mainly the problems will be on reporting line. Is your reporting line ready for success, or they are stretched and you need to replace them? Management, are the mid management that usually are a problem in the organization responsible enough to be successful and to protect the executive and not let the executive jump and fix the problem because mid management line is weak? You need to build a strong mid management reporting line. For sure, the more you grow, and you know already this, the more you will cope with loss of productivity. And the last part is leadership and communication. Your communication style, which is like we are three people, we communicate where we are having pizza together, is not gonna work when you are a 1,000 people company, 8 offices in the world. So you really need to change the way you communicate based on how your organization is complex. Before going to the first coffee break, the executive leadership usually those are the roles, but there are many others. Chief Executive Officer, Chief Revenue Officer, which is in charge of revenues, CHRO, Human Resources, CTO, CIO, CPO, all the IT part, internal and external, Chief Financial Officer, Chief Legal Officer, and Chief Security Information Security in the latest stage. Then in the revenue, you have Chief Sales Officer, Chief Marketing Officer. Many people that can or cannot report to the CEO reporting line. Before coffee break, because after we are going to explore a lot of organization charts. Coffee break. A couple of beautiful examples of people that didn't follow predictable patterns. Um, so they come virgin in the industry and they destroyed everything. They become the leader. Jim Simons, Renaissance Technologies, was the best trader ever. He passed away recently. And he was a mathematician, and up to 40 years old, he never knew financial markets. Then he entered with the fresh mind of the mathematician without applying the classical trading techniques, and he became the best. Or like the best player of Go playing against an AI have lost. A very rookie amateur player of Go found a bug and find the trick and like putting the pieces on the cornice and not how should they should be put at the start, and he won against Go. So always remember, be be fresh from the industry. Sometimes it's an advantage because you are not following predictable patterns. So this is a common mistake, which I call giving away the C level for free. Usually, when you start a company, you are two founders, you both are C level, and then the first three people that you will hire are C levels, chief executive something. Very likely most of the people that you will hire, and maybe some of your founders, are not the right C level for a bigger size company. So my advice is be very careful when you give titles, especially C level, to people. It's a one way door. You cannot come back. You cannot come the other day and say, oh, look, you are stretched for the journey we have to make. From C level, now you become a director. It's absolutely impossible. I really love budgeting. I really hate business planning. Business planning means play with Excel, drag a column on a 5 year projections, and be sure that these predictions will never happen. Nassim Taleb says that the long term forecast in complex systems, and when you are talking about organization, complexity is due to processes, number of people, number of roles. Every small change at day one will be amplified in terms of delay or shift of the process in a long term by a magnitude amount of time. Let's imagine 3 days of delay, 3 months of delay after 1 year. So, what I suggest is just avoid precise, scholastic prediction on the long term. Avoid wasting time doing this because they are unreliable and the complexity will play against your long-term precise the cent dollar value prediction. Don't do it. Um, there is this, joke which is called "the CEO is the Queen of England," and what means that is isolated by most of the business, where chief operation officer ideally run all the company and the CEO does other jobs like relationship with the investor and so on and so on. Usually, especially in public companies, CFO always report to the CEO. In this case, the chief executive officer have a personal assistant. You know my opinion about personal assistant.